the things that I remember about Ken, number of SRC meetings, hearing somebody say, Ken Derstine, is Ken Derstine in the room?
Loud in calling for right. A master of technology, but balanced with the understanding that technology is a tool to be used in the fight for a good life and not replace real life. Your views were never the first ones to be heard at the table, but your knowledge and research often led our way. Your easy, reserved way belied a continual love of learning and growing.
So your legacy lives on.
Yeah.
And Ken, your legacy will live on with this group because you have shined us just like those stars. And I want to thank you very much for what you did for us.
Thank you.
Wanted to give people a chance to let you know how much we love you and respect you and how much we have learned from you. Okay, Ken? Basically, this is a pretty important evening. We really wanted to show our love and appreciation by coming together to honor you and to celebrate you and to say happy birthday and to wish you really well on your next passage. You have done so much for our organization, perhaps. Just amazing. You created the website. You just ran it. We never knew how much work it took because you never told us how much work it took. You made it seem really easy when it really wasn't. You know, you had your bumps, but you never let us know. And you did such amazing things by helping it grow and helping our organization grow. And the other thing that you did, you just gave yourself wholeheartedly. And you also pushed us into learning more and thinking more about what was going on in the world. You know, whenever you went on a trip, because you love to travel, you would come home with, I mean, I have videos from your trip to Vietnam. When you went to Cuba, you just taped all the lectures. You taped walking in the street so that other people could learn from your experience. You're just a natural born teacher. So it was no wonder that you turned into being a teacher because that's who you are in your very fiber. And we just really wish you the best. And where's Lisa? We have something that we wanted to give to you to show our love and appreciation in a very concrete way.
Okay, so to Ken, with love and appreciation for all you have done to defend public education, love from your APS family.
Oh,
Yes.
Nice.
So that part's from me. Thank you for your inspiration and dedication. This is for me.
oh.
There's a hint on the outside what it's tied with.
I know what it is.
You may think you know.
No, I really think I know what it is.
For those cold winters in Washington
Oh, yeah, we
State.
get so cold.
Stay warm.
My name's Stuart Cooperstein. I was the principal at Meredith when Ken came. And I left him there. I needed to leave someone there to save the place. Okay. In any case, he has meant so much to so many. But I know him mostly as a teacher. And it's hard to sum him up because he's done so much. Whether it was a tech teacher, a computer teacher, a videographer, what do they call after they put them together? Editor. He made certificates. He made graduation help. You name it, from beginning to end, from the school shows. He made the music, everything. And so we had a saying at Meredith when I was there that Meredith, where everyone's a star. So I always saw Ken as a star polisher. And with that said, I want to read this because I found it just the other day. I have a great job in the universe of occupations. What do? I am a star polisher. It's a very important job. If you want to know how important, just go out at night and look at the stars twinkling and sparkling. You see, I am a teacher. The stars are the children in my class. My job is to take them in whatever shape they come and shine and buff them, and then send them out to take their places as bright, twinkling beacons in the sky. They come into my room in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes they're bent, tarnished, dirty, crinkly, or broken. Some stars are cuddly and soft. Some are prickly and thorny. As I buff and polish, I train and teach my little stars. I tell them that the world cannot do without them. I tell them that they can do anything they set their minds to do. I tell them that they can be the brightest, shiniest stars in the sky, and the world will be a better place because of them. Each night, as I look at the sky, I'm reminded of my very important job and awesome responsibility. Then I get my soft buffing cloth and my bottle of polish in preparation for tomorrow for my class of little stars. And from what I hear, you're now his class of little stars.
I've known Ken since 2011. I'm with the Eastern Service Workers Association, and he's connected us to the APS group and taught us a lot. And he's also been a supporter. He's on our advisory committee. So we put together this little card, and it has a picture of our office, and it says, "We love you, Ken. We'll miss you." And inside it says, "Ken, your fighting spirit continues to be an inspiration to so many. It lives and breathes in much of our physical plant and our increased knowledge of the inner workings of the changes going on within the educational system nationwide and more. Your 7-year history with us has been invaluable, and we treasure it more than anything you could give us. Be rest assured that we will keep you abreast of our continued effort in our fight to change the insanity that continues to wreak havoc. We know that your fighting spirit and resilience will help you in your continued life journey. Love and solidarity." And there's a little quote here. It says, "Be strong when you're weak. Be strong when you're weak, brave when you're scared, and humble when you're victorious."
All right. Out of all the stars that's in the room, I'm a little one because I just now met you and have not had this long history as everyone else do. But to everyone in this room, I want to tell you thank you. But to you, you have been my Superman.
Oh,
That's nice.
Whenever I looked around and went to 440, if I didn't see you, I couldn't go before them. But as long as I knew that my Superman was there, I went. I went with the braveness of Danny Boone. I went with the craziness of Rocky. But I still on the strength of Ken. Every time I saw you, I grew strength. I'm here representing Strawberry Mansion, and we're fighters. So to my Superman, I'm going to kick every piece of kryptonite in the butt that even try to come in. But from Tiny to Ken, and I got to turn this way, right? Not to be disrespectful, but you know, I'm just going to try to do this. So I ain't never said I was great, never said America had time. I didn't say I had a voice. I just got a big mouth, but not a voice. But you deserve this. You are my friend. I never knew it till then. My friend, you hold my hand when you're not near. It helps me make it knowing you care. The thought of you helps me carry on. When I feel the need of all hope is gone, I see the world through brand new eyes. Your love has made me realize my future is brighter to me, all because you are my friend.
I met Ken because at Smith School we were trying to get the teachers recognized through the Get Set program. I started out in the Get Set program. I'm a preschool teacher. And we weren't getting recognized. They didn't want to pay us the salary that the school board was getting. So again, Ken was there looking after me, photographing me, making sure that I was comfortable. I didn't even know his name, but I knew every time I was protesting, Ken was there. Ken was protecting me. And I wanted to always say, thank you, Ken. Love you dearly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the next speaker. And the reason Ken Derstine, he was in the room. Ken Derstine signed up to appear at the SRC. This was his way of actually making sure that he was in the room to film the rest of us as we spoke before the SRC. And if it weren't for Ken, there would be no documentation of many of the SRC meetings that we had today. So that in itself was valuable. But he wasn't only the man behind the camera. He was the director, he was the producer, he was the guy that basically guided us, at our RAPS meetings, as far as what to say and how to say it. He was the writer in some ways. He was the best boy. He was the gaff. He was all those things that you see at the credits at the end of a movie. That was basically Ken. And essentially we were the actors. We were the stars. That were basically appearing before the SRC. But basically Ken was the brain in a lot of ways. To get those ideas.
I can kind of picture myself on vacation and some realization came to me about something I had found and I'm like, who can I talk with about this? Like there's not that many people I can talk with about the things that I researched, Ken. And I remember sitting like on the bed in the B&B going, Ken, and I can't remember exactly the nature of it, but you were the person that I could go to because you're such an amazing researcher. And I think that plus the legacy of the documentation that you've done and knowing that Philadelphia is sort of in the center of this much larger global universe and what happens here is important not just for all of us here in this space, but for the larger struggle of education across the world. And to have both your research base and your legacy of your film and the consistency that you and APS bring to everything of just keeping at it, and I think eventually at one point, but just over and over and compiling that record is hugely important. So I have a card and you don't have to read it now. But
I remember as soon as I found out about apps, the next thing I did was worry that it would end. Oh my God. And I remember being invited to the retreat and I was just like, oh my God, this is the army? And I can't tell you how many times people have complimented me or suggested that I was this magnificent whatever because I had knowledge that I got from the emails that you would put out. And coming from a parent that understands how educators are our last line of defense, I am so grateful that you chose me to include in those email links and that you chose me to be somebody that could call you a friend.
Well, I wasn't really planning on speaking, but since we were sharing our experiences, I first met Ken on South Street during the summertime. I was doing a literature table and he was very quiet and I couldn't really figure him out as to whether he was interested or not. But Ken did sign up and we put him on the mailing list and Freda called him later that year. And at first he wasn't willing to volunteer, but because he said he was busy with other things. And Freda asked him, what was the other thing? And he said the nurses being fired from the school district. And, she asked him to come down, and he came down the next day. And from there, when he explained what was going on with the schools, because in the news, they always portray the teachers or the school workers as being greedy and they got good salaries, and they've been showing school fights and all that, that's news, just to discredit the public education. But him giving us that information, we could bring it out to those who were also uneducated, also ill-informed about what's happening. And that's one of the things I also like about Ken is that he just didn't want to leave this information to those who were within the circle of education, but bring it out to the general public. One time he...
I'll look over this way. I want to be kind of brief if I'm able to. You are a true friend. You were my next door neighbor colleague at Meredith, the nurse's office next door to the computer office, and we were very collegial, cordial, but we weren't dear friends at the time. The depth of our friendship really started the day that I had a really low day when I realized that I really had to leave Meredith. And office, and he almost cried in my office, and it was an extraordinary moment that he was there for me during that low time, because you really learn who your real friends are, and sometimes that real friend is an introverted person who's just been watching you and appreciating you all along. And then you turned up at my crazy rallies for 22 weeks. Every week he would show up just quietly, just this quiet presence would show up and be there. And as others have alluded to, you knew you were on the right side of history if you were with Ken. So he taught us all of that, and you will remain a friend every day we walk the earth together. I have a little gift. I'm going to have it mailed to your place. I'm going to visit you, and I'll never forget you. I will think of you every day, and I love you.
I'm so glad I got to meet you and work with you. You truly are amazing. And to hear these stories about you, amazing. I'm breathless. I'm so glad I got to meet you, Ken. You are truly amazing.
I've done so many meetings, passing snacks around, which is very important in that. And the first time I went down to occupy the Department of Education in DC, you were there to show me how to do that, with all the people you knew nationally. And I remember, and of course, the resource, Eli Brode there, and Bill Green, the truth about all these people that's there, and it will be there for everyone to learn. But powerfully was your addressing City Council about what happened to us when the state took over. And you talked about how felt we were under siege, and you put into words that the experience that we had all had of despair, that the power they had and not caring combined. And so, you're going to help us continue, and we're going to continue because we know we need to. Thank you.
It's a bitter pill to swallow. It really is. You don't want to lose somebody as great as Ken, but we're just going to have to live with it. But you taught us how to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
So all we can do is take what you taught us and do the best we can with it, and I think we will. But I love you, Ken. You're a great friend. Thank you so much.